Today's China threatens the world because it is not the real China. Communism is not China. The real China is one of Confucian democracy with 5,000 years of culture and history. In this video, I will present to you Confucian liberalism, which is a foundation of Confucian democracy of our ancestors. We must understand that Confucianism has nothing to do with communism. The Chinese nation is born of freedom. It is guaranteed by Confucianism. Compared to Western liberalism, the Confucian liberalism is a responsible and unselfish liberalism. Confucians take into account the public interest when enjoying individual liberty. The freedom of the Chinese is individualism of the middle way. Western democracy is broken down because its foundation, Western liberalism, becomes a synonym for egoism, which pursues individual interest to the detriment of the general interest. However, Confucianist liberalism makes responsibility into individualism. In 2007, to study democracy in France, I left a post of director in the Chinese government in Shanghai to encourage me to work for the freedom of the Chinese and all mankind. My father calligraphed a poem of Fan Zhongyan, a great Confucian in 11th century. In Chinese, we pronounce 先天下之忧而忧，后天下之乐而乐. That is to say, let us worry about the world before the world, rejoice in the world after the world. This poem perfectly expresses the essence of Confucian liberalism. One does not live only as an individual, but also as responsible for the world. This is one of the most famous Chinese quotes. For 1,000 years, all Chinese children have been forced to learn it by heart. It has become a national conscience. Wanting to be responsible for the common destiny has nothing to do with communist collectivism. Former U.S. President John Kennedy explained it in this way.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. In this sense, we can say that Kennedy was indeed an American Confucian. A French Confucian, former President Valéry Giscard d'Estaing, explained France's failure in his book, The French Reflections on the Destiny of a People of 2000, page 222. A Chinese minister of foreign affairs had told him, "We have examined your behavior, and we have seen that in your country a French seeks personal satisfaction, even if it is to the detriment of the whole of which he is a part, whether it is his company or his administration. We, the Chinese, we are looking for personal benefits, but we believe they go through the success of the whole to which we belong. This is why we work first for the success of this whole, and then we are looking for our personal benefit." These are the reasons which led us to judge that you could not succeed. A Chinese leader became the whistleblower for France. Freedom without responsibility is the catastrophe for the human society of which each of us is a member. In the past 40 years before Xi Jinping, Chinese success was not based on communist collectivism, but on Confucian liberalism. Marx makes the individual the slave of the state, whereas Confucius makes him master of the world. The Chinese believe that each citizen is responsible for the prosperity and ruin of the world. In Chinese we say, 天下兴亡，匹夫有责. Totalitarianism is the nature of the communism, whereas democracy is the nature of Confucianism. Confucian democracy is a responsible democracy that the Chinese people and all mankind currently need. According to Confucianism, a free citizen should be responsible on 4 levels, from bottom to top. First, to perfect himself, then contribute to the family and continue. Then govern the state, finally spreading the virtues for peace throughout the world. In Chinese we say, 修身齐家治国平天下. For more than 2,000 years, the Chinese have been educated by this Confucian conviction made up of 4 progressive missions. They keep the most ambitions but start with the most fundamental. Spreading the virtues for peace throughout the world give them immense courage in the face of the most difficult challenges, but perfecting themselves allows them to refuse the I can do nothing that currently dominates our modern society. Freedom in Confucian term is not I do what I want, but I serve as an example to the world in my way. Confucius said, at 17 I can free my heart without violating moral principles. It is the supreme means of Confucian life. Individual freedom and responsibility towards the universe are as one as the unity between man and heaven. Confucian liberalism transcends all political ideologies and becomes the nature of human. Confucian democracy guaranteed freedom for our ancestors, but communism destroyed our traditional democracy. My dear friends, to restore our democracy tradition, we must expel communism. I invite you to support my fellow Chinese citizens' fight for freedom. As your first show of support, please share, like, comment on our videos, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you all for democracy.